First with breaking news. First with new information. Plus, your first alert forecast. 19 News starts now with a breaking news alert.
We have breaking news this afternoon. The sentence is in after a deadly drunk driving crash. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Brian Duffy. Thanks for watching 19 First at 4 on air and on 19 News Plus. Nicole is on assignment this afternoon. One driver has learned the consequences of driving while drunk. He pleaded guilty in this case. Harry Boomer is in Akron with more on a tragic crash.
You know, Brian, all the tears in the world will not bring 18-year-old Isabel Grubar back. She was killed in a crash in 2025. The man who caused her death was intoxicated more than twice the legal limit. Show you some video of her now. This is a picture of 18-year-old Isabel Grubar. She died in a car crash. The driver, then 23-year-old George Taylor, her boyfriend. He pleaded guilty to the vehicular homicide. Today he stood in a courtroom before the judge and Isabel's family and her grieving parents as well. Her big sister and her father talked about the impact of losing her had on them.
She was only a child herself, trying to fly away from the nest, so unaware of predators and monsters. Now that's how I see Mr. Taylor, as a monster. After that night, I watched the sun come up, and it was beautiful. I cried knowing she would never see another sunrise. If only she would have made it.
She was my best friend, my comfort, my home, and the person who understood me better than anyone else in the world. We were only 2 years apart, and we went through everything together. We shared the same childhood, the same memories, the same family, and the same understanding of each other's heart.
Isabel brought kindness, laughter, warmth, and love into my life every single day. She had a way of making people feel cared for and understood, and I'll always carry that moments of her smile and her voice.
Again, George Taylor pleaded guilty to aggravated vehicular homicide. Operating under the influence of alcohol, the judge sentenced him to a minimum of 7 years plus a lifetime suspension of his driver's license. What she also did is made a man who was in court before him, who had also pleaded guilty to driving under the influence, to sit and listen to what could have happened had it gone worse than it did for him. Now, George Taylor is on his way to prison for at least 7 years. In Akron, I'm Harry Boomer, 19 News.
Now your 19 First Alert forecast. Certified most accurate since 2004.
A beautiful start to the work week. Downtown Cleveland, just some high clouds right now. That lake breeze has been out there all day today downtown and has now made it to Hopkins. North wind there, but still warm into the 80s. And that's where most of us are at this hour, unless you're right along the immediate lakeshore. We're well into the 80s. For example, 86 in Akron and Canton. Now, we are mostly dry. There's been a few little pop-up tiny little showers here across parts of Richland County, trying to make their way into parts of Huron County as well, with a boundary there. So we may see this activity out west this evening. You see one in Western Holmes as well. But most of us will stay dry as temperatures still remain pretty warm. Even as we head overnight, we're going to stay in the 70s. So that means the humidity is high and we'll see the clouds continuing to increase. Storm chances return tomorrow and stick around for the rest of the work week. I'll talk more about that coming up here in just a bit.
More breaking news here. Toledo police today took an 18-year-old in for questioning after what turned into a mass shooting at a weekend festival. 12 people were hurt. Police say they're following multiple leads. Lee Waldman has the latest, though we must warn you, some of the video you are about to see is graphic.
And we ran.
Everybody falling, everybody tripping over everything. Oh, yeah. It was a pandemonium.
Couldn't see who it was.
The Old West End Festival in Toledo, Ohio interrupted.
Medical's en route, multiple units, code 3.
We're going to have multiple injured victims.
Copy, multiple victims.
Video from the scene shows people screaming and running for cover between golf carts and food trucks as shots ring out. One graphic video shows a victim being told to sit down as blood is seen on his back.
Call the hospital. Yeah, he got to sit down.
Police say the 12 victims, who range in age from 14 to 61 years old, were in stable condition as of Sunday afternoon and continue to improve.
It appears as though there was at least 2 shooters. I think they were probably shooting at each other.
Police say investigators are making progress and are following multiple leads, but no arrests have been made. Police responded to reports of a shooting near the festival around 5:37 p.m. local time Saturday. When they arrived, they found multiple shooting victims.
It was scary, terrifying to see so many people hurt. It was pretty bad.
Authorities are combing through video evidence and asking the public for any information they may have.
Talk to your kids. There's kids out there that probably know more than all of us standing here, right?
The second day of the festival was canceled, a decision organizers say was made with law enforcement and city officials. I'm Lee Waldman reporting.
19 Crime Alert, first at 4. Take a good look at your screen. Have you seen Theandre Burrell? He's wanted by the Northern Ohio Violent Fugitive Task Force for firearms violation. He is known to be in the Cleveland area. Reward money is available for information that leads to an arrest. ATF officials and U.S. Marshals are looking for him. Tips can remain anonymous. Iran and Israel have exchanged missile strikes for the first time since the April ceasefire took effect. The attacks could further complicate multinational efforts to negotiate an agreement to end the war. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says he will hold off further attacks on Iran for now. Iran says the same. The president on social media early today said Israel and Iran must immediately stop firing missiles. He also said negotiations are ongoing. AAA reports gas prices are down nationally to $4.16 a gallon for regular, $4.04 here in Ohio, but an escalation in the Iran war is putting upward pressure on oil prices. Strikes on Sunday between Israel and Iran seem to be rattling investors. Analysts say they represent the worst escalation in the war since a temporary truce began in April. But with the help of Gas Buddy, we're on Pump Patrol to help you find some cheaper options for gas. In Green, we found gas for $3.33 a gallon. At the Get-Go on Corporate Woods Circle. In Avon, it's $3.68 at the Mapco on Chester. And Conneaut Fuel on State Street has it for $3.65. But remember, these were prices at last check. They could always change. When the school year ends, so does, for some, access to free meals for thousands of kids. Tonight, the city of Akron is stepping in. First at 4, Isabella Roberts shows us how families can take advantage.
Well, this sign says it all. Kids eat here free. 15 locations across Akron started their summer food service program where kids 18 years and younger can show up and get a free breakfast and a free lunch.
Like chocolate or vanilla milk? It's the start of city summer camps in Akron and at community centers, parks, and other locations like the Ed Davis Community Center and Lane Field. That means the start of free prepackaged meals.
All right, yes, sir.
Robert Dowdell has run this program in the city for years, and he says for some kids, this is more than just lunch.
Through the summer, children are not in school, so sometimes this is the only meal that they may be receiving for the day. We want to be able to provide those meals to these children.
The program is sponsored by the state of Ohio and funded by the federal government through the USDA. And Dowdell says accessing those meals couldn't be easier.
There's no registrations needed. They just show up at the site to receive the meal. Children 18 and under receive the meal. They have to eat the meal on site. It's not a pick up and go.
Kids can show up any weekday for the next 8 weeks through July 31st. Meals won't be served Friday, June 19th or Friday, July 3rd.
Generally, breakfast starts at 9, but also it runs for about a half hour, 9 to 9:30. And then again, lunch is at 12 to about 1.
And with the cost of living rising, Dowdell expects more families to need it this year.
Last year there was a total of about 45,000 meals served over the summer of the 8 weeks period that we had the program last year. So I'm expecting that to grow due to the current situation of our economy this year.
The city says those doors are open every weekday and every kid is welcome. Serving times may vary by location. For a full list of locations and food service times, visit cleveland19.com. In Akron, Isabella Roberts, 19 News.
Lorain City Schools also want to make sure every child is still getting fed. Starting today, they have free lunch for kids 18 and younger. You can find meals weekdays at the high school on Ashland Avenue. Lunch starts at noon and goes until 1:30. The Lorain Food Bus also serves lunch at different neighborhoods in the city. We have a list of locations on your screen and on Cleveland19.com. Well, with the labor market potentially stabilizing after a year of weak job growth, well, it's stalled just a bit. How can you best position yourself if you are a job seeker? Michael Yoshida has tips on how to stand out in today's job market, where artificial intelligence is playing a bigger part in the hiring process.
Job hunting in a world of artificial intelligence.
There's a lot of different ways employers are using AI, but essentially they're using it in the first stage of hiring.
Before your application ever gets to a human, it might need to pass a first-round screening by AI. Indeed's Priya Rathod says that's why job seekers should also be using the technology. One key way to help is with what she calls keywording.
What does the job posting say? And how does your skills and experience match that? Make sure the wording corresponds, right? Because that's what the AI is looking for to pass you on to the next level.
But to keep you from getting lost in a flood of cut and paste AI applications, remember this.
In this world of everyone using AI to optimize their resume and cover letter, we're losing some of that individuality and that uniqueness. And you want to make sure you're highlighting that.
That could be laying out specific examples of impacts you've had, such as how you made a certain project more successful, what the goal was, and how you achieved that for your employer. And while AI tools make it easier for you to mass apply to lots of different openings, Rathod says you'll have more success by being targeted and applying only to positions that truly make sense for your skills and experiences.
You can't just keyword match and have the wrong experience. Eventually, you are going to get to a human, and they're going to want to see that what you put on that resume and cover letter and profile matches what you're saying in person.
I'm Michael Yoshida reporting.
Now on to this, a 19 health alert about treating minor injuries. Traditional advice calls for you to use ice for 10 to 20 minutes at a time, every 1 to 2 hours for the first 24 to 48 hours. Cleveland Clinic doc says after that initial time, you can apply some heat. So the recommendations are the same, 10 to 20 minutes every 1 to 2 hours, but don't overdo it. Leaving ice on an injury for too long can cause tissue damage.
If you decide to use a heating pad, make sure that there is no type of topical analgesic or topical pain relieving cream underneath that. There should be really nothing in between the heating pad and your skin in the form of a cream. It's very common that people with topical analgesics who place a heating pad on top of that will force that cream further into the skin, resulting in a serious tissue injury or a burn.
All right, so if your injury doesn't improve, you might want to go see your doctor. Now to your top four at 4. Toledo police took an 18-year-old in for questioning in a mass shooting at a weekend festival. 12 people were hurt when 2 people started shooting at each other in a crowd of people who were at the annual Old West End Fest. Victims range in age from 14 to 61. Police say 2 of the people who were previously listed in critical condition are now considered stable. Man charged with hitting 2 bicyclists faced a judge this morning. One of the victims he allegedly hit was on his bike. He hit him with his car. The other he allegedly assaulted, then barricaded himself inside a Menor home for 8 hours. Judge made it clear this morning Michael Leppelmeyer is too dangerous to be released. 42-year-old entered a not guilty plea and was held without bond. He remains in the Lake County Jail. No further court dates have been announced. High bond, $1 million set for the man who fired shots outside a pub in Akron in May. Larnell Neely Jr. pleaded not guilty. 1 man was killed. Another person was shot in both legs. He survived. This was outside the Noisy Oyster pub. Eric Schaefer was killed. Investigators say Neely took off. Police used drones and a canine to search for him. He eventually turned himself in. Apple unveiled a new version of Siri at its Worldwide Developers Conference today. The new version, rebranded as Siri AI, is available on all devices in a standalone app. Apple also announced upgrades for its iPhone, Mac, and iPad alongside new child safety features. The announcement could marked the last big moment for Tim Cook before he steps down as Apple's CEO. Well, there is additional security around the world's most famous arena leading into Game 3 of the NBA Finals. Extra barriers are set up with canines on patrol outside New York's Madison Square Garden. Security has been ramped up for President Trump's visit tonight. He's expected to become the first sitting president to attend a finals game. The former New Yorker is a longtime fan, he says, of the Knicks, who have won the first 2 games of the finals against the San Antonio Spurs. It's a 7-game series, a long way to go.
In addition to personnel, our security posture combines drones as well as advanced counter-drone technology, protective intelligence, specialized tactical teams, and operational resources that allow us to identify and address potential threats while maintaining a welcoming environment for fans.
The NYPD and Secret Service also made the decision to cancel what has been a very popular watch party outside Madison Square Garden. They are also locking down several blocks around the arena. Watch parties are expected to resume for Game 4. Breaking at this hour, police in Georgia say a suspicious person call ended with an officer stabbed and a suspect shot. The wounded officer in DeKalb County is stable at the hospital. Other officers then shot the suspect, who is now in critical condition. San Diego Fire Department is working to put out a brush fire that is burning near homes now today. Fire was first mapped at 40 acres and quickly spread to 65. The San Diego Police Department issued an evacuation order for nearby areas. Wind and heavy brush is giving the fire added fuel. Today marks day 17 of the 100 deadliest days of summer. So far this year, 50 people have died in car accidents in Northeast Ohio. First at 4, Aria Janelle has the story of one Lorain County family who is using their loss and pain to get out the message and maybe even save you and your family's lives.
11th, actually, of 2011.
Tom Tomaszewski will never forget the worst day of his life. He was sitting in his house when he got a phone call that stopped him in his tracks.
Your son's been involved in a crash out here on Route 83 at the prison farm, and you need to be here.
Part of Governor Mike DeWine and the Ohio State Highway Patrol's push to make summer driving safer, Tom replayed the heartbreaking moments he and his wife found out their grandson and daughter-in-law had been killed by a drunk driver.
He said, we got a call on this guy, and we were coming. He was driving reckless.
According to OSHP, between 2021 and 2025, there were more than 3,000 OBI-related fatal crashes, 75% of those involving someone on drugs. Now that we are in the so-called 100 deadliest days, DeWine wants you to be more careful.
As of this morning, 52 people have died on Ohio's roads since the start of Memorial Day weekend. 264 have been seriously injured.
Last year, during this 100-day period, 304 people were killed. Officials want to remind you to make sure you're putting that phone down, talk to your teens about safe driving tips, and always wear your seatbelt.
In honor of my family, I ask that if you're going to drink or if you're going to use drugs, just don't drive.
Tom says he tells his story every chance he gets, hoping it saves someone else's family from the call that changed his. For 19 News, I'm Aria Janelle.
Now your 19 First Alert forecast. Certified most accurate since 2004.
All right, here's your First Alert 7-day. We've just got those rain chances the next 2 days. Really, no one day looks to be a washout, but if you're out and about, you'll want to keep an eye to the sky. Temperatures in the 80s, and we have the 70s in the morning. That means it's going to be humid. Now, on Saturday, a bit of a change. It'll be drier, less humid. Still in the 80s, but some cooler mornings. And then look at next week, only in the 70s. So it is going to be a lot cooler as we start off. Sunday, we have a few storms possible as that stronger front moves through. And then on Monday, a week from today, we could be talking about a few showers and temperatures. It may struggle to get much above the lower 70s after starting in the 50s for the morning. So this type of pattern is not going to last, the one that's humid, by the way, but we will see some cooler weather and perhaps a few more rain chances next week. Gone are those dry days that we saw for almost a couple weeks now. We do need the rain. Stick around. I'll show you where a few showers are popping now and what we can expect over the next 72 hours.
At least 35 people are dead and more than 200 injured in the Philippines after a powerful 7.8 magnitude earthquake struck the country's southern region. The quake also triggered a landslide and more than 130 aftershocks. Jared Hill reports.
A 7.8 magnitude earthquake reduced buildings to rubble in the southern Philippines, sending students running for cover on the first day of school. The quake struck early Monday morning just off the country's southernmost island, triggering widespread panic. Video posted on social media showed people rushing out of shops and holding each other as the shaking began. In General Santos City, a Jollibee fast food restaurant crumbled. A police officer said the staff all made it out safely, and 3 people trapped inside were rescued.
Customer! Tao!
The Philippines sits on the Pacific Ring of Fire and sees dozens of quakes a year, but this was one of the most powerful in decades. This man described the terror, saying it was the first time he experienced something this strong, adding he couldn't help himself from tearing up. Someone else living in the area said they don't have water or electricity. The quake also set off a small tsunami, with damage reported in at least one coastal village. The country's president has ordered all classes canceled in the region and directed evacuation centers to be ready to help those who were impacted. Jared Hill, CBS News.
Powerful earthquake was also felt in Malaysia to the west and Indonesia to the south, where a tsunami was also reported. Smaller waves were measured as far away as Japan. Developing news now, 2 teens shot in Akron. They're both in the hospital. One victim is in critical condition. Police say it was some kind of drive-by at a home on McKinley. Police are still trying to find the shooter. It happened just before 1 o'clock this morning. So if you saw or heard anything that might help, police say please call. Your tips can stay anonymous. Also in Akron, a sinkhole nearly swallows an SUV earlier today. This is on Eastland Avenue, just past 6 Corners. The driver, Babette Niedert, shared these pictures with us. She said it looked kind of like a little puddle. She drove around it anyway, but then the road cracked open. We reached out to the city, who says there was a water main break there, the road, and it caused the sinkhole. Repairs will be made to the line again. This is on Eastland Avenue in Akron, so be careful in that area. Piece of history went chugging through Northeast Ohio today. It's all part of the 250th celebration of our nation. If you missed it, you'll get another chance. 19 Data journalist Dan DeRose is here with the very latest, and things like this are always very cool.
Yeah, you don't have to be a train enthusiast to enjoy this. This was really historic. It is the Union Pacific's Big Boy, number 4014. The reason it's so historic is because there just aren't many of these massive steam engines left. You can track it live. It is right now, here's downtown Cleveland. It is just outside of Ashtabula. It doesn't move fast because they know people are out to see it. It's getting close to North Kingsville. It's going to be in Conneaut before it heads into Pennsylvania. And before we get to the video, I want to show you what it's doing. It's taking the northern track to Buffalo, and it will be in Philadelphia by the 4th of July, obviously for the big historic 250-year birthday of our nation. Take a look at just how special this is and sounds as it rolled through downtown earlier today, downtown Cleveland. I'd just like to be able to pull that string once to make that go off. You can see Tower City in the background. Just an absolute historic trip. But once it stops and once it has the celebration in Philadelphia for the 4th of July, it's going to get back on the road, so to speak, and it will come back through Northeast Ohio. In fact, it's going to make a stop Monday, July 13th. It will stop in Rocky River at 19060 Depot Street. It's going to stop for only a half an hour, and then it gets back on the tracks. And there is, if you wanted to take a little bit of a trip to Fostoria, Ohio on the 14th of July, it will be on display there. Tickets available, no tickets required, free admission from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m.